Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to more of the Summit 6 American Qualifier action. We are getting down to the bitter end here. It's the lower bracket final. Let's take a quick sneak peek at the bracket so you can see on the VODs exactly where we stand. And right down there and below, we just witnessed Team NP take down FDL in a full 3-game best-of-3. Now FDL have to go back-to-back and face off against Complexity, who are waiting for them in the lower bracket. And, of course, the winner of this series will get a rematch against MP in a best-of-5 grand final that will be happening tomorrow. Let's switch back to the draft because we already got some cuckoo picks coming out right now. I'm coL Guy from Beyond the Summit, joined by a man who hangs out with only the hottest dudes. It's Grant. Hi, Grant.
What's up, dude? Hottest dude hang outer with her here.
Nice memes, bro.
Thanks, and if you're talking about memes, then last game was quite the Radiance Nyx, if I've seen one.
It was. It was certainly the bee's knees.
Indeedicals.
Now, FDL got to shake it off, though, Grant, because they got a tough test ahead of them. I mean, we were saying at the start of today's casting that, you know, we both felt FDL and MP, man, they're right up there. They're right up there trying to grab at the heels of EG in the American region and DC as well. I don't know why. I always forget about DC. But DC and EG up there. They're trying to get there. And then Complexity's kind of in there. It's, you know, some big names. You know, you got Moo, legendary offlaner, second place at TI6. His mom's watching Grant, so I'm trying to boost him up a bit. We got Z-Freak and Melons, brothers in crime, famous Complexity members.
Yep.
WoW players, too. But nonetheless, you know, we're going to see what they're going to be able to bring here.
Well, what about Cancel? He streams.
Tell me a bit about Cancel, because I'll be honest with you. I hear a lot about Cancel, but I don't know a lot about Cancel.
I know he played at one point on one of those weird, like, Kai P teams, and he got kicked off of it for, like, a Rise. But he's been streaming ever since, you know. He makes some big plays here, big plays there, big plays over everywhere. And now he got picked up for a team, tried out for Complexity and won. And we're all for the best.
I mean, it sounds like a profile, just like you said, like in a Rise or something like that. I want to be proven wrong. So I'm putting it on Cancel now, Grant, to make me a Cancel fan. So since I don't know much about the guy, I want to see it in his play. I want to see what kind of player he is and whether it's going to be a disaster or whether it's going to be like some sort of, you know, nub from UA highlight reel performance. I want to be impressed.
Nub or noob?
I don't know, whoever that guy is, but, you know.
Yeah. And then Teal Justin, he's been around the block a little. I mean, he played on High Wizards of Council and the Priest.
The greatest E-Hug, you know, he played on the greatest team of all time, E-Hug. So.
And he did. And I think his earliest team was when Root Gaming was, well, I wouldn't say relevant, but when they were around, he played under the name 272.
Is that like Tubby the Fat, like Root Gaming? Like
I think so. Tubby the Fat.
Tolera
272. That was Justin.
Oh, it all makes sense now. Okay. That was like that was a lot of fun to watch, that team during the Summit 2 American Qualifiers.
Yep. The Summit Qualifiers have always provided us some of the greatest excitement we've ever seen in our life.
Such as that crazy Owie Morphling build. You just really never know what you're going to see.
We're due. I think the biggest thing I've already seen with the picks is they second picked Warlock Axe. And you pick Warlocks, we saw it actually in TI6. It counters the Shadow Demon illusions. Maybe they're trying to do that to scare off the pick so they won't pick Shadow Demon, but FDL still ended up picking it. And 747 got OD.
That's just FDL saying they have no respect for the drafting game of Complexity right now.
Exactly.
We're not afraid of what you're trying to posture up with in that first pick. You know, Complexity, I mean, if we're looking at this team under a microscope, and I did go back and I kind of, you know, glossed over their series against NP in the first round, and it did feel like their drafting was a little bit on the weaker end for them. You know, we don't know how much they scrim, we don't know how much they practice, or you know who they're practicing with, but it definitely feels like they're still a bit out of tune, as most of these teams are, because a lot of them have these new rosters, and again, people they've never played with as a 5. So we just got to see, man, what coL's going to bring. You know, this team was once what, top 5 TI team? Was it top 5?
I believe 6.
6, okay, top 6.
6, yeah. I compare Complexity, you know, you can compare them to instruments. I compare them to a timpani.
A what?
A timpani, like those 3 drums.
I've never heard of that before.
Timothy. Well, there's like 3 drums, and
Did you
anyone
used to
can
like
play
be
'em.
in band or something? Is that how you knew that?
Well, indeed. One time in band camp when I stuck my trumpet somewhere. But
Oh.
Yeah. But timpani's easy to play just like C, but it's the hardest instrument in the world to tune. That's why they're the second highest paid orchestral player. I read this one on Reddit. This
Okay, I was gonna say like what late night were you up and you happened to find this fact and somehow incorporate it into Dota is by on the most impressive thing I've ever heard, Grant. That's
no, but
ridiculous.
it really is like easy to play. You just hit drums, but it's the hardest thing to tune. I was in band for that, and it feels like Complexity has the piece. I mean, Z-Freak, people, you don't hear a lot about him, but people always say he's been the strongest point of Complexity for what, like 3 years now?
Yeah.
But as a support player, you can't always carry a game, so you need help from your big dogs.
Plus, of course, you got Swindle now, who's still in the captain's chair, at least as far as we know. You know, we're not flying on the wall to hear like what kind of gameplay calls or drafting calls there are, but I imagine Melons is definitely one of the biggest factors in that. But he's stepped away from his offlane position and is now a support. I did watch a little bit of his Oracle play. You know, it was something. We'll just have to see what something he brings this time, Grant. Like,
Yep.
It's a hard change. I mean, the big thing he was saying, because he was out for Star Ladder, I believe, here in LA, and he was talking a bit about, you know, the potential changes and he was always a big admirer, and it feels like there's a lot of positivity that can happen being in a support position where you could sit back, watch the game, and make those kind of calls without having to focus so much on being in the core position. So that's something he was going for.
Yeah, and look at that FDL pick Centaur, and then Complexity with the random Lone Druid pickup here. Huh.
Lone Druid does feel a bit out of left field for where Dota is right now. Doesn't feel out of left field for a Swindles draft, though, especially when Ziz was on the team.
Oh, he loved that hero. We actually just saw Ziz was... Oh, I just realized, yeah, Ziz had to play against Complexity.
He was on Doo-Wop, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he got Doo-Wop, that's for sure.
Yeah, real unfortunate, by the way, there for Ziz. But he gets to be here in spirit in the form of the Lone Druid. Swindle finds value in it here. Maybe in a laning matchup for them to be able to kind of give some serious laning advantage. I don't know where they plan on putting him just yet. They could just try to match him in the mid lane against the OD and just power him down a bit, but...
Yeah, I haven't watched Cancel. I don't know if he's a Lone Druid player. I think if I did watch a stream, I would have a better guess of that, but I know Justin plays it, so I assume it's going to be a safe lane, or they switch lanes, but I think Justin will play it.
Yeah, I'm curious, too. I haven't seen too much of Cancel or Justin play recently to really kind of tune into what their comfortable hero pool is or not, but I know that Z-Freak's very comfortable in the Kunkka, so they have some comfort there, and of course, Moo is a strong Axe player. And now moving into our final 5th pickups here, they're going to have to consider getting something for that 1/2 position, which would obviously make things a bit more clear-cut. Swindle loves his crafty drafts, doesn't like to kind of show his hand right away, so...
Yep, and we'll see if FDL sticks with getting 0-4, one of his known heroes. Complexity bans out the support Mirana. It doesn't want to get paired up with the Shadow Demon, maybe, so... Guess they're not scared of his Ogre or something.
They should do like a support Lesh instead then, you know? Pair with a Shadow Demon, that'd be cool. Or Lena. That used to be a common thing, but those just aren't really heroes anymore.
Nope, they're not. A lot of heroes aren't heroes. Even though TI, wasn't there like 6 heroes weren't picked or something?
Yeah, I mean...
Crazy.
Don't get me wrong, like, there are definitely a bigger pool of heroes that are at least seeing some light of day. It's not like they're just totally extinct. Like a Sniper will creep in. You mentioned really like a Troll will creep in. But there's also now more room for more innovation. I mean, we already, you know, as mentioned, saw the support Morphling. We've been seeing the support PA. Nice call, by the way. And, yeah, just that's a 0-4 hero.
There's just those 3 heroes, man.
Ew.
Literally every game. And the Zeus. That's a middle Zeus. Yep, the middle Zeus. Oh, Fatal Bond Zeus. I haven't seen that in a while.
Swindle used to play mid Zeus all the time. I wonder if he like factored that in at all. It's very good, of course, against the Illusion Gaming of Terrorblade, but people have always been recently pretty skeptic on people like Zeus. When I say people like Zeus, it's like, you know, heavy spellcasters.
Yeah, he's a god, not a person.
Yeah, he's not any person. He's a god, but more godlier than a god is raindrops and like how good Hood is now, and people just grabbing up a pipe, and there's been so much new opportunities for magic mitigation that, you know, people have felt like some of these heavy magic bursty heroes are just not the thing anymore. But, you know, in a right place at a right time, and maybe here against Terrorblade, they felt that this is the time for Zeus, the god.
Yeah, it should be interesting because now you definitely assume MJWs get a prioritize maybe getting a hood and pipe after the blink dagger.
Oh yeah.
And that mitigates a lot, like you said. And it is interesting. How does a teardrop mitigate magic damage? Like, wouldn't lightning double the effect?
I mean, last time I checked from Sciences,
water
is that water is pretty conductive of electricities.
Yeah, Pokemon taught me that one. I didn't learn it in my public school.
Oh yeah. Pokemon is really the greatest teacher of all, though.
Yeah.
Taught me about friends, confidence, how to love a woman.
Yeah, was that Brock or Misty?
That was definitely Brock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Brock was a good guy.
I hang out with Brock and I get a hard, that's Pokemon things.
Yeah, just Pokemon things. So we have pause, just a sec from FDL. Maybe they're still a little tuggered out. Maybe Beads is finishing as what do they call quarter pounders in France? Because he's in.
Quarter pounders definitely feels like an American thing, not a French.
No, but it's in French. It's a different word for it. It's like the omelette de fromage or whatever. But there's actually a different. Oh, it's the royal.
The royal.
Maybe
a royal with cheese or whatever.
Yes, yeah, that's it. He's eating the royal with cheese. They needed a pause because they just lost a tough 2-1. I'm sure they're hungry and they're just getting that royal.
You can't play Dota on an empty stomach. You just can't. What is your favorite Dota grub, Grant?
Like if I'm playing and eating at the same time?
Yes. Okay, how about what you're playing and eating at the same time and what you want to eat before you have to play a serious match?
When I actually played, it would always be, I'd have a thing of ramen early in the morning for breakfast, and then I'd end it with like a fast food meal. I have a Good Times next to me, and they have green chili cheese fries, so that was the go-to meal.
All right. How did you stay in a game for like an hour, though, then, after eating green chili cheese fries? I don't know. For me, I probably last like 15 minutes in a game.
I don't go to the bathroom that often. It's a God-gifted It's a God-gifted blessing, whatever.
Yeah, IBS is, by some considered a God gift, I guess. But
Yep. But 0-4, I like it. You haven't seen the Ogre once yet.
No, I have not.
This is the biggest one. He literally will just run at you. He has the Windlace and Orb of Venom. He's going to throw an Ignite at you and just have fun with it.
I mean, I can appreciate someone who can really test the limitations of their hero, and Ogre certainly can swing early with your 8 ridiculous base armor and ridiculous health regen and health pool. You give him a little bit of move speed, and yeah, he can definitely do some serious work. So I'm excited. I want to see a bruiser, and I hope that's going to be the case here with 0-4. And I don't know. They might looks like start out with a bit of a 2-on-2 here in the mid lane. Cancel mid lane Zeus against an OD. I don't know, man. I mean, you got free CS game going with your Chain Lightnings, of course, but now you got an Ogre in the lane. Like, Lord have mercy.
There it is. Just running at him with the Ignite.
He's like, this guy seriously has no respect for me right now. Like, it's just walk up clubs.
The best part is he has 8 armor too. Like, look at it. He can tank tower hits if he really wants.
I mean, Cancel now missing out on the full wave because of it. So job well done there, Mr. 0-4.
There's the tower tank, and look at Cancel doesn't even have his body. He's having to fly out a health potion. Not fly down. It's still walking, but Ooh, top lane, Stanky and Zefreak just throwing each other at each other.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the mini map and the icons are jumping all around. I'm like, how do these supports even do it? But yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a teaser game between these two supports, just trying to help balance the lane in either or's favor. Moo obviously can really take off in this setup on his axe, but it could also depend on how much influence Zefreak will have in the lane. Kunkka axe lane is, I don't know, at least for me personally, that's something I see every day.
Yeah, definitely 2 melee heroes going at it. I think it's good. You definitely need Moo to get early levels, because we saw like the axe played by MJW was that game too. It just didn't do that much when he didn't get any. Like, he got level 4 in the jungle, then he went to lane, he just didn't get anything. I think you definitely have to secure him farm, because he's your playmaker in the mid game.
I almost feel like FDL and Complexity kind of match up even in that department. I think there's a lot of value on both Moo and MJW in like all of their games. Like, they're the playmakers, and when it doesn't work out, we saw what happened with it in the last series with FDL versus MP. They tend to be a little short-handed in their big power peaks. But here at 747, contesting for a rune, running into a little bit of trouble here. Cancel and Zefreak dish out the deeps, and they're going to be able to bring him down. That is first blood going to Zefreak himself. He's going to be eating some clubs, though. And now with the disruption coming in, it looks like he will also be going down. Well, I say that, but he found a nice little corner to hide through. Drops the tree, trying to block, but it's not going to be good enough. Oh, cute little play there, Z-Freak. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter. He will get the benefit of the first blood bonus, but FDL will at least get their own response.
Yep, so, I mean, Complexity will definitely take that. They kill 747, and 747 seems to, on his OD, he always dies once before.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, then he always has a great game, so we'll see if that's true again. Also, I noticed a minute ago, MJW didn't kill the bear, but the creeps did, and Justin had to resummon his bear and gave him a lot of experience to MJW. I didn't see how it happened, but it did. Now Jim died to Roche.
Meanwhile, some hefty harassment here onto 747. Z-Freak does a nice job timing out the Torrent to catch him on his own defensive prison from the X. And not quite enough firepower to really bring him down, but it's enough to kind of force him to chew through some green stuff and get him back into some sustain here. So as that goes on, as you're alluding to a bit, Justin continues to farm quite a bit here in the bottom now, 22 and 6. And his matchup against the Centaur, also one we don't get to see very often, but...
And his bear's actually going to heal again. He doesn't have the resummon for another 20 seconds. He doesn't want MJW to kill it, so MJW get a little bit of farm here without the bear.
And will now confidently be able to contest and move in for Swindle on that pull game, but can't help but maybe scout out this top lane. It looks like we have a rotation in from 0-4. Don't know if that was spotted from coL or not, but Moo steps back, and it looks like he's going to go work with a jungle camp in the meantime.
It's funny to see how many people die to neutrals in a game now. It used to just be unthinkable. Now people just do it on purpose, and like five to six.
Yeah, right.
It's just funny. Like dying's beneficial.
Do you think it's something that, like, if it could happen? Okay, hold on. Melons eats a big shot in the face right there, and maybe a little backpedal a bit. But do you think it's ever something that, if it tends to happen too much, would Ice Frog change it in any sort of way? Like, okay, guys, that's cute. You shouldn't all be killing yourself to neutrals. Or do you think it's a part of the game that he's just going to leave in? Like, that's just a efficient thing everyone has. Yeah.
I think it might be like, they did have to change the live rules. Oh, top lane too.
There we go. coL, Battle Hunger. But here comes 0-4, trying to be the bouncer, but it doesn't matter. With the X pullback and with the burn, they might be able to take him down. Nice connection with the Torrent. Will secure it. Z-Freak, part of another takedown. Gets coL ahead 2-1.
That's two big kills, one on 747 and one on Visa, or yeah, on Terrorblade and Outworld Power, and they only managed to pick up a support kill themselves. Yikes. Yeah, MJW not firing that much again. He's only about level 4.5. He's gonna try to leech a lot of these neutrals over here, and he needs to.
But we have contention there. MJW obviously doesn't want to get too reckless with this, but he's still holding his own. I mean, 5 minutes in, about to hit level 5. He's matching up fine. We can compare that to Moo, though. He's 5.5. Confidently working himself through the lane here. We'll have to avoid a casual disruption from time to time, but is matching a good mark and has now picked up a Iron Talon for himself at the same moment. We do have the Midas also come online here for Justin.
That's big. We'll see if he goes double Midas. I'm not sure if he's one of the bear people who do, but he might be.
I don't know. From all I hear is like very inefficient. Do not do this. Do not get double Midas. That's all I hear, but people still do it.
Yep. Ooh, and if Torrent misses middle, that could have been a kill if it hit.
Yep, but you just tried to freehand that one. Not going to be able to catch the mark on that. And 747 will live on, but, you know, Z-Freak is still just kind of making his impact through the lanes and keeps FDL guessing.
It feels like they have a really, like, these two teams have another neutral kill, but these two teams have, like, super similar things. Z-Freak and 0-4 both kind of play that melee. We're just going to run around the map, help out everywhere. And then they have one super defensive support, the Swindle, and they just have really similar teams, it feels like.
Yeah.
Z-Freak's going. Just,
going exploring.
They see that? Hey, placed the ward. I wonder if Biza saw it.
It's ping there, but I don't know if they're just pinging the fact that they see the Terrorblade or the ward, but nonetheless, they are converging that way. And it looks like they might get the jump. Moo, though, having to walk in. Z-Freak will be able to bring him back into a Torrent, into the X, or the X into the Torrent, into the coL. Bisa, only level 5, so close to level 6, but does not have it, so he can't sunder. Looks like he'll be fine. Backs up in a way, avoids the sniping Torrent, and he'll be good with Stand King nearby and 0-4 now. they're going to be the ones that potentially turn it back around on Moo. If he gets this level 6, you know. No, he was already healing up, so it doesn't matter. But now 747 gets involved, and it looks like Complexity could have overstayed their welcome in this jungle. Moo trying to man up here. Gets the call for the bonus armor, but eventually gets hit up with a prison. It looks like they will finally have his number.
Took a lot to bring him down, though.
Yeah,
And
it
that was four people's times. That's one of the times you type in all chat space. Because Justin's still just farming bottom.
It's true. Justin grinding his way out, and I would imagine potentially looking to just bulk up into going the Radiance first and foremost, and testing FDL on their Lone Druid meta. Having to flip the meta page back a couple of pages here. Oh, top lane, Z-Freak. They are charging in for him, using Stampede and everything, and he cannot do anything about it. A rotation will come in from Moo now, though. Gets the call connection for Bisa right under the tower, and he has no mana for the Sunder. So he's in trouble. One more shot, and he gets dunked right in the back of the head. Nicely done by Moo, and he's looking for more. This could be a double dunker, and it will be. Double dunks for Moo, and Complexity pull ahead 4-3.
Another 2 decent kills. Biza goes down again. Biza seems to die a lot more than other carry players. He plays a lot more aggressive, which is it's fun to watch, but not always the most, you know, the best play for your team.
Certainly not. At 747, I'll go back to his own little jungle front and make waves there, but nonetheless, we have cancel now. Zeus is level 6. We have his global ready to go. Lots of fighting potential here for coL. No Melon's Rock yet, but, you know, I would imagine that will come online as Moo's Blink Dagger will come online, and Complexity will seriously have a lot to work with. And
yeah,
they have a lot of fight in the mid game. I don't know if FDL are going to be ready for it or not.
Exactly, and the best thing is, like, they have a lot of 4v5 fight. While the Bear can just push a side lane, Complexity can win a lot of these fights with, like, Rock, Zeus, and Boat, and Axe. Those are, like, perfect heroes to, not even 4 protect 1, just fight as 4 while your Lone Druid does something by himself.
Makes me curious on what FDL are going to have to do. It looks like top lane, they are going to be able to get the grab onto Moo. Nicely done. That will delay his Blink Dagger a little bit. They just rushed in for that one. Looked like a nice early setup of a disruption, and obviously with the damage coming out from Bisa, they put the Axe to shame, and now they'll make their move in for the tier 1 instead.
Look at that level 3 Bloodlust, that Terrorblade already tagging pretty darn fast.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that. He put 113.
That's
Is
mostly,
that normal?
It's pretty much normal now, yeah. You'll see some people still max Ignite if they really want to run a people, but I mean, the Bloodlust level 4 is just actually insane.
Oh, they get the spot onto Bisa, the X pullback, but there'll be no further follow-up. Moo rotates in, and will be one to lead the charge here for Complexity, but I don't know if he's going to get a catch on anybody, but he's running in like he wants to. Stanking will finally welcome him with a disruption, and it looks like that will be the end of that.
That was... Z-Freak had Torn up. I'm really surprised he didn't Torn out of X, and Z-Freak almost dies. He's spinning X.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you got to be careful, buddy. Jesus, well, he makes it back in the lane. It looks like he's fine there, but still got that sleeping dragon, or bear, if you will, on Complexity in the form of this Lone Druid. This is money yet. 2.2k, the Radiance is coming.
The only problem with Bear is super late game, not even super late game, when OD has, like, just even the Hex. You just Hex the Bear and the OD, like, 4 shots.
Torrent, global. Oh no, the Sunder comes off right on the Z-Freak. And now the follow-up stun will be there. And Secret might pay for it. Looks like he will. I mean, he connected with the Torrent. I don't know if he was hoping that Zeus would follow it up, or maybe they knew that it wasn't enough damage with just the Torrent. Nonetheless, a miscalculation causes Complexity to lose their support in top lane. There's a nice deny in the back of a disruption to stop Moo, and now Moo's the one in trouble. There's a purge there, and he's not going to be able to make it away. That is another takedown for FDL. An Astral follow-up, and now they look to go for Melons. Swindle also going to go down. That is a 3-man takedown across the board for FDL, and now they pull ahead 7-4. The biggest advantage of the game yet.
And we're seeing why Zeus doesn't get picked. He used his ultimate, and 747 took 21 damage from it. It doesn't do anything. Zeus, yeah, this Zeus pick was just, like you said, kind of out of left field, and with the infused teardrop, I call them teardrops, not raindrops, sorry. They just, He's just not a good hero.
I mean, they make spellcasters sad, so I can see that.
Definitely.
You know, you admire Swindle. He's very big into theory crafting. He loves his drafts, and he loves, you know, the pulling out stuff. You know, because that's the thing. Like, some teams just, they have that kind of X factor, being able to recognize heroes and the potential if they're going to be clutch in that particular draft. At the moment, many teams have done it. Swindle's done it also himself in the past. We see Wings do it plenty all through TI, but, you know, sometimes you bring in a hero, you feel like it's the right fit at the right time, and I don't know, sometimes you get a real hard lesson in the meta.
Yep. And that's a problem. Even now, Swindle, it's level 13. He just now hit level 6. So they have a rock, but there's an OD versus the rock. That orb does quite a bit of damage to the rock.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Not the actual yak.
Yes, it does. We'll see here.
It's up to Justin. That's what it's feeling like.
Yeah.
And he is very close to that relic, so looks like he's going to be getting about that 15-16 minute Midas Radiance. So I'd say about standard.
Moo does have his Blink Dagger now, so that's something nice for coL. And maybe that 4-man hit squad outside of Justin is going to be able to pull in some work to bring it back. Let's see what they can do. Maybe
like
potential set at mid lane. They got a rock. They got a Blink Call.
They have boat now as well.
They got boat. They need
Yeah,
someone
they have
to jump.
Justin. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
He's like, I'm out of here.
all hands on deck, really. They were hoping for a fight mid lane, but they're not getting it.
Do you know why the poop deck's called the poop deck on a ship?
I don't know. Do they just take a poop on it? Are you asking, or are you going to tell me now?
I was like kind of asking to sound like I'm smart, but I didn't know the answer. I was hoping you'd know the answer, and I'd be like, yeah, that's true. But I don't.
Why is... Oh, I can't drop. The People's Elbow comes down mid lane, and they're going to go right for 747. They're going to get the grab. With a torrent and a boat, they certainly will. And that is going to be a first hit execution by coL. I mean, at this point, when you really gauge things, it almost feels over necessary, but nonetheless, they get that kill.
Yeah, they get the kill. They get the tower too. That almost, yeah. You only get one kill for a rock and a Zeus soul, but you get the tower too, so they'll take it. But top lane, Visa, dead.
Shredded. Nice call set up by Moo, and with all that huge burst coming out from Zeus, they make him look pretty damn wimpy. And just when I was kind of getting a bit skeptic of complexity, they suddenly creep together a couple of kills themselves.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, the raindrops are good, but Zeus versus Terrorblade is great. I mean, he has a ton of armor. It's a shame armor doesn't affect magic, though, so yeah, that was their thought process.
Yeah, for sure.
Radiant's almost up on Justin now, so will be, it looks like about a 16-minute one. Oh, bottom lane, maybe not, though.
He's just casually farming his Panda, pulls back and away, and looks like FDL are not going to be able to catch him out. Justin is playing pretty damn safe. A lot missing on the map. He decides to pull back and away and get back into the jungle instead. And instead, FDL can roll on through, and Stan King can come on in with some wards. And now be able to have opportunities to maybe scope out this lone druid farming through the jungle and look for setups.
I think both teams are pretty much okay with what's going on, maybe besides Visa dying a lot, but 747's reasonably farmed, gonna have his 4-staff soon, and he does a lot of damage, especially to the low HP heroes on the complexity side.
Yeah, he'll pull back bottom lane, but it's ancient farming time for Bisa and company. And this gets Bisa right back. He'll feel a bit more tankier. He's got Dragonlance in his pocket now. While that goes on, complexity, it seems like they're parked up in this mid lane, hoping to get a jump, but no one around yet. Not till MJW rolls through, but you know, you have Stampede in your back pocket. This is not going to be the easiest team to jump, not when they're together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now Radiance is on the bear, so got a little more of that pushing power. Even team fight if they want a 5-man with it.
I was looking up why is it called a poop deck. In naval architecture, a poop deck is a deck that forms the roof of a cabin built in the rear part of the superstructure of a ship. The name originates from the French word for stern, la poupe, from Latin pupus.
Oh, la
apparently.
poupe, of course. Of course, yeah, I knew that.
So it's originally French.
Yeah, of course, just like the Royal.
The royal poop.
Yes, with cheese.
With cheese. Bottom lane, they got the tier 2, and top lane, coL's pushing up top for their own tier 2.
that bear does quite a bit of damage to buildings.
It's got that demolish, you know. Easy work.
Pretty good.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Well,
Radiant's middle tower
I'm still trying to
is
think,
under
what is the
attack.
demolish icon? It just looks like a statue. I don't get what it is, but who knows?
I didn't know what it really was in Dota 1 either. It was like a tree stump or something.
Man, that's me. Demolishing.
Okay, okay,
I don't,
though.
FDL doesn't want to fight right now. They know Rock's back up. They know they just have the worst team fight Axe, level 11 with Blink. Just feeling scared to go against, so I don't know. FDL wants to farm, but it's scary because they don't want to get caught out as well. They don't have wards top. That's a Radiant ward.
Yeah, I mean,
Radiant's
you got a
bottom
Zeus on your
tower
team.
is
That's the
under
one thing
attack.
that's nice to have after a long time coming is that free ward radar. So you'll be able to easily achieve some
Has fallen.
map control when necessary with the power of Zeus on your team. And Complexity have really been all about moving forward and taking towers now. Back-to-back towers go down now. As this tier 2 will fall, only leaves one more outer tower here for FDL. So the pace is definitely pushing, and Complexity are looking to make sure FDL's leash is not going to be so long on moving out comfortably and farming.
And bottom lane, though, 747 somehow harassed a decent chunk of HP off that tier 3 tower. Just right-clicking creeps. I think that's the thing. Complexity kind of has to stay as their 4-4 because none of them have escape mechanisms besides maybe the Axe and
Radiant's
Blink.
middle tower has been denied.
Still, though, both teams kind of avoiding any sort of serious confrontation. I mean, by now we do obviously have Swindle's Rock up and ready to go. But obviously looking to kind of pump the brakes a bit. This does provide time for MJW. If you wanted to go into that Blink Dagger we were talking about before, it still would be, or that, did I say Blink Dagger? I meant Pipe. Go into a Pipe. That would certainly help out Bisa quite a bit.
Yep, and
a hood.
OD gets his own. OD's like, I'll take this hood.
All right, he'll probably just keep it a casual hood for now, and then still go for a pipe on someone like Centaur, but that's going to be great to have. He is not going to be so shaken up from cancel. That is a lot of damage that's going to be just completely taken away from coL.
Yep, what is canceling hat? And he kind of went the mobility build with the Force Staff. He didn't go Veil, didn't go Aether Lens. So he's pretty much, he's just there to maybe cancel a Blink with his ultimate and then try to throw as much damage as he can from afar.
It is going to be Complexity on the prowl now. They pop the smoke. They let Moo lead out the charge. Nearby is Bisa, and they ping him out perfectly. They just have to hop over the trees here. Oh, they go for Stand King. They're going to go right for the disruption target instead, and they'll take him out. Good quick snipe now is going to be the T-Gods. And that is going to allow the snipe onto Bisa as well. Very nicely done from Complexity. Cancels out the TP, and they quickly take the lives of 2.
Yeah, that was perfectly done smoke, gang. That's what you need. And they need a, maybe they're going to go for, unfortunately, bottom's pushed in, so they can't go for that tier 2. They're going to go for Roche instead. Just as good.
Yep, and it doesn't look like there will be an answer for FDL. They will be able to push the other lanes here. MDW feeling pretty confident that they might not be in this area, pushing Roche instead, that he will hang around. Did he spot this courier? Oh, Blake's passed instead. Almost got to the area. Instead, we'll cut the creeps in the bottom lane and make sure he keeps the pressure built up there. Not the craziest amount of damage here on Complexity. It's all on Justin to kind of bring down this Roche. So it is going to take a little bit of time. I don't know how much time, though. Stand King's getting close. He can get off some poison stacks now. He has enough time to get off a good chunk of them.
Stack him on the bear.
And I remember one game a while back with a PPD EG. He got off like 7 stacks inside a pit and completely turned the fight around. And coL have to be careful of that this time too.
He's got 5 stacks on the bear at least. 6.
Now Moo's had enough of it, tries to go for the jump in, but does not get connection with the coL. Eats a disruption himself. There's going to be the rock drop though from Swindle with the boat flying on board. Hits connection onto Bisa. Very nice jab, but he's still far away from the rest of the team. There goes the global. Is it enough burst? He's able to get off the Sunder and keep all of his life back, but Stand King very low. He's going to be able to make it away. Stampede rolls out here from MJW. Here comes Moo and Swindle creeping in from behind. The move is made. They get the burst. They're going to be able to take out Justin right away. FDL's fight, but Moo begins to dunk them all together. That's going to be a double dunk for him. Cancel dishing out the damage. Tries to go for the triple. Gets the spin. Makes it a triple. Complexity still take the fight and wipe all 5.
Wow. And that's where Warlock comes in. He just threw that ult down, created so much chaos with it, and they didn't know what to do. They were doing so much damage to themselves on that axe with his blade mail. So Moo Moose having that impact we said he needed to have.
On the up and up. Unfortunately, they can't just move off and finish out the Roche pit or finish out the Roche they had started without having Justin around. That is just not a thing. So it's still going to be very, very awkward to be able to move in there and get the Roche, certainly for complexity. So, but nonetheless, puts them right back up towards a 4K net worth advantage. And now some new items will begin to roll in. It's unfortunate for FDL. It looked like a pretty good start. Sand King was definitely being a very annoying towards that pit and did a nice shot sidestepping move, but as mentioned, Swindle just with a clutch ulti. Got to give respect where it's due.
And that's the thing, they need to win these fights now. Because complexity, I mean, everyone always memes about the Bear. Well, he has 12 slots. The Bear just becomes useless at some point. He's not that great of a late game hero. And you're going to an OD as well as a Terrorblade. I think complexity is definitely doesn't want to take this much later than, what, 30, 40 minutes. So they need to keep taking those fights and then taking objectives.
Okay, mid lane, FDL hanging around a bit. MJW's eyeballing it. It's getting pinged out. You know, coL don't have chaotic offering right now, so I don't know if it's something that FDL could be factoring in and making an attempt themselves. They were creeping in for the Roche. Now they see and intercept Swindles. They make the move in. They catch him with the Purge. Not going to quite catch with the stun. Hefty burst for MJW. He is able to make it back and away, and they get the finish on the Melons. 747 gets that grab. FDL get their hit and run and walk away.
So, well, 1 for 0 trade. They'll tell you they do use OD, which is a pretty dang long cooldown, though.
It really is, man. 2 minutes plus.
It's like 3 minutes. It's a lot. That's time.
Time keeps on slipping, you know.
Yep, slip it.
Into the
Shout out to
future.
yellow card.
Wait, yellow card?
What? Oh,
I was thinking Space Jam.
Oh.
Jump in, called forward. 747 in a bit of an awkward spot. Gets the self-imprisonment off. Boat does fly forward. Cancel will get the finish onto 0-4, and now with an X follow-up on a 747. Nice little save there from Sand King with the disruption, but the chase continues. Savage Roar bumps them back and away, but Beast is here now to play. Full Metamorph. Meanwhile, Moog gets the dunk and the finish onto MJW on the back lines. Caught too deep and far away from his team.
That was a little bit of an overreach there. Just the Ogre and the That World Devour. They do kill the Bear, though, which is nice. Visa gets it for 300 gold, so not the worst thing that could happen to him. But they probably need to stop just running in 2 at a time on FDL. And here goes Roche.
They actually almost got a taste of their own medicine there. That's just another wonderful counterplay from coL.
Yeah.
Just kind of assembling and being at the right place at the right time, and now they're going to be rewarded for it as they follow up and going for the Roche here. Aegis in order. DL going to be falling back on what could be some hard times.
Oh, and look at Z-Freak just sitting up on that hill, ready to X game if he comes over.
And they pop out the Thunder Gods just to see if it is all clear, and it is. FDL will give them the nod, and that is going to be a Justin Aegis. And they'll take
OD's
their
slowly
business ball.
farming up, though, so they got to be careful. He's almost level 16. And complexity just doesn't have the late game, like I said. They need to win these fights now.
Oh, and I didn't notice till now that MJW is going for the Ags build-up. No pipe. He wants to get that serious. I mean, I guess the damage reduction and pipe are both kind of the same thing. So.
Yeah.
Kind of works as long as you time it out appropriately.
Now this Bear is getting. I mean, this Bear is almost like an alchemist. You want him to get that farm early, and you just want to push, but after a minute, here he goes. He's gonna run in. Bloodlusted Tower.
Goes to work, and that Bloodlusted Tower trying its best to defend itself. They have ways to slow down the roll. Sand King keeps dishing out the poison here and disruptions when necessary. FDL not looking to pounce just yet. MGW might be the one to kind of lead things off, but with just a Bear lurking in, it's not good enough. Move makes a swing, doesn't get a catch, and walks back it away, but as he heads out the door, they'll bop him with imprisonment. Can they make him pay for it? There's a Force Staff. It looks like he's going to be good, but they decide to make all in for it. A rock counterplay does come out from Swindle. Gets a nice save for Move, plus the boat coming out from Z-Freak. And this could be bad for FDL. They both get bopped really hard from it, and the Fatal Bonds begin to go to work right into the hands of Complexity. They just baited out FDL from the base, whether it was intentional or not, and this might have cinched the deal on this one. 3 buybacks come out from FDL as they know this could be a quick finish for Complexity with the power of this Lone Druid. They look to go for Siegfried first. They'll get the crush. They'll get the stun down. He's still fine though, fighting it out. They'll finally finish him off. Justin is still going in on these racks. Moo is being the gatekeeper at the fountain. They'll bop him down with the Sanity's Eclipse, but still not going to be good enough. Complexity get that 1 racks and they back on out.
Yep, man. Wow. Just a perfect fight. They're still trying to go Justin. He has the Aegis, though.
He goes down. Still great for Complexity. And they're not done yet. Justin's still alive and well, so they might as well go back in and finish off what they started. They don't have to even worry about this OD for over a minute. This could be the game soon.
Feels like it, and that's exactly. They push when they need to, and that Moo having the BKB right there. They might have lost that fight, but he baited them all the way up that hill, BKBs, and then just slaughters them. And Swindle got up like a 4-man fatal bonds.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And now that's going to be a tier 3 in the mid lane down.
Has fallen.
Rax is exposed and not many options left. We'll have to see what it can be for Bisa, but without Metamorphosis, it's not going to be as hard hitting as they'd like. They will be able to take down the Aegis on Justin, but not too much of a problem here for Complexity. They still have Moo waiting in the back lines to make that jump. Z-Freak will go first, leads in with the X on the Stand King, forces a self-disruption, which means you will not have a disruption or anything else defensively. Bo flies, he gets the force off, he's going to have a little bit of distance, he's good, but all the meanwhile, Justin, the demo man, takes down both racks. Cancel does work, popping out the ulti, gets the finish on the Stand King. And suddenly coL are 2 racks up, or 2 sets of racks up against FDL.
Wow, man, I mean, FDL doesn't have the worst lineup for coming back with all the push they have from Terrorblade, but the Zeus now Veil and Aether Lens, so he's actually just doing a ton of damage. Finally got the farm we need, level 16. The Axe is super farm. Complexity just, they played their lineup how they wanted to, and, well, that's why they're there.
All really stemming from that huge comeback turnaround Roche fight for Complexity, and then they get that huge defense, or no, not huge defense, but that huge turnaround on FDL, who are just trying to catch anyone on the way out, and Moo in particular, but as things begin to spiral down for them. I agree, they definitely have a lineup that could definitely have a bit of a pullback, but can't help but acknowledge how ridiculously rich Complexity are going to be now. Braxes are just worth so much money now that everyone on their team is easily going to have another item built up. I'm looking at Greaves here on Swindle. Z-Freak's got drums now with 1,300 to boot on top of it. Blink is waiting for cancel. They're just so loaded.
Yeah, and they have rock up, so they're just gonna. This is the last push. What, 4 buybacks on cooldown? About 3, yeah.
3 at least.
Yeah, there we go. They're just gonna run to the base. Assault Cure's now in the Spirit Bear too.
Let's see what they can get out of it. They have a rock waiting for any sort of counterplay, so the options are very, very limited here for FDL unless they can somehow take out and execute Swindle, but they're even keeping him under the darkness of a smoke back in behind the team while Justin continues to be the demo man. That's a tier 3 down, and as he goes for the racks, FDL realize they might need to do something about it. They imprison the bear, they stun him down a bit, but he flies back and away. He has another bear to spare on top of it, so.
Yeah, and Metamorphosis popped up, so they just got out. All they have to do is wait for Metamorphosis to go down, and they're just going to go right back in.
Let's see, FDL, you got to do something. This is a YOLO moment while Metamorphosis is still there. Stampede Ags rush down the cliff. Oh, now TP's canceled and spotted out.
Yeah, well, it's just a good Zeus ult spotting out, like you said, if they did go for something crazy, but they know they're not.
FDL are just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Just defend it head-on in the high ground itself in hopes that maybe Complexity get overzealous. It's happened before. With this much of an advantage, though, I don't know. But they're hoping for it.
And they just have Swindle to keep healing the bear up.
And FDL are just using Centaur illusions to try to slow the waves as much as possible, but as stated plenty through this game, as Zeus mocks your illusions, quickly gets rid of them, and they get to come back in for round number 2 of a push. Complexity looking to close things out for game number 1 of this best of 3 in hopes of revenge and a rematch against Team MP in the grand finals, but FDL also looking for the same.
They're just chilling. They just keep putting the bear under. X marks finally comes on. 747 is coming in.
Two fatal bonds are out. Trade a bit. That's a racks down. Only one more is up for Megas. There's the jump from Moo and catches 3. He has his own BKB going to be popped. They get the rock. They get the boat. The whole kit and caboodle's going to be there, but Stan King trying to stay alive. Self-disruption. They move on in, but eventually FDL do begin to crumble. Bisa trying to set up alive with the help of the Sunder, but it is not good enough. He is out for a minute, no buyback, and that should do it. Complexity win this fight. And I gotta say, it felt pretty close at the start of this one, but as things continue to develop, and once Complexity got that initial advantage by the Roche Pit fight, they never looked like at any moment they were going to be dropping it.
Yeah, I think we were both questioning the Zeus pick, and we saw it worked out. He didn't die, and then after like the initial raindrops wore off, I mean, you don't just keep buying raindrops over and over. He just did an insane amount of damage. All they had to do was survive the super early game, and they just dominated the mid game extremely well.
So with that, that concludes just game number 1 of this best of 3. That's Grand. I'm coL Guy for being on the summit. When we return, we'll hop into game 2 of Team FDL versus Complexity, guys. We'll see you soon, okay?